Hi, welcome back. Attorney Steve Vondran here. In this video, we are going to be talking about the very important topic of what is software piracy? What are the different types of software piracy? Sometimes you hear people say, oh, you're pirating. But I want to go over what I believe to be the top 15 common types of software piracy. Okay, this is going to help you be more informed on this topic. Okay, what does software piracy really mean? So let's go down and take a look. Let me blow this up just a hair here for you. All right, software piracy defined. Here's some of the things I find. Number one, it's important to understand that software is copyright protected. That means it's usually registered with the United States Copyright Office. They pay a fee, 50, 60, 70 bucks to license to get registered their software. Once it's registered, they can then have grounds to go into federal court and file a lawsuit. There's also a new copyright small claims court that's going to be coming on the radar here soon, end of the year. That was passed in the new COVID legislation. So now we're going to have copyright small claims up to $30,000 in Washington, D.C., if you can believe that. So, but the point is and we're going to see what the software publishers are going to do with that. I suspect we're going to see some filings. But yeah, so the software is copyright protected. So that means anything that infringes a copyright, some would call that copyright infringement. Some say you're pirating. Some would say you're breaching a contract. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. So I just wanted to throw that out there at the beginning. I've got some great links here, by the way. You can catch my my page up here, Types of Software Piracy. At any rate, crack codes is one. Downloading and using crack codes like through BitTorrent. You download it, you get a crack code, and then you start using the software illegally. Well, you think all is fine, except many companies are now using what we call phone home software, and they find out that you're using their software, and it phones home to them, and they keep a log, what I call a usage log or a piracy log of all the infringing activity. And then, of course, they want a big settlement. So using crack codes, that's probably your biggest, most obvious pirating software. You know you don't have a license. You know you're not paying anything for it. You're using it in many cases commercially for your business, and that is classic 101 software piracy. Using crack codes. Number two. Well, that was two. I guess I'm one behind here. This is another one that pops up where you're using personal software for commercial purposes. So when you buy software, actually, in reality, you're licensing software. You actually don't own the title. In pretty much just about every case that I'm aware of, you don't own the title. All you're buying is a license. So you have to follow the license. You have to do what the license is telling you to do. If you don't, that could be construed as a breach of contract, or more often they try to construe that as software piracy, copyright infringement, okay? So we had this situation pop up quite a bit with the Business Software Alliance. I have them right here. We've done a lot of cases with them. They're a software trade association located in Washington, D.C. They got a lot of big companies. I got a list here. If you want to see their members, I got a lot of members. I'm not going to risk any problems with them. If you want to go see the members, go see the members. But they have companies like, as you can see here, Dassault, Dropbox, Mastercam, Microsoft, the big one. A lot of these, and you have IBM and Oracle as well, Altium, but and Autodesk, I believe, is still in there. I'm not quite sure, but I believe Autodesk is still in there as well. At any rate, a lot of the stuff was driven by Microsoft, and you would have people buying Office Home or Office Personal. Microsoft had a lot of different ways to market their products, but a lot of people didn't really think much about it. They go, hey, I bought it. I went to Best Buy and I got it on a laptop, so I feel like I'm good. But you find out that maybe you purchased a personal license, not for your business. So we had, believe it or not, quite a few audits where they were really hammering and really pushing home hard that using a personal license, even though maybe it's the same price or maybe it's even less for some companies, you don't have the commercial version. And we're like, well, this looks like an honest mistake here, doesn't it? Or no, it's software infringement, software piracy. So that's another big one that maybe people don't know about, pops up quite a bit. And again, it was really these Office products where that issue kept popping up. But let's go on. Illegally distributing software could be construed as piracy or copyright infringement. Selling things you don't have the legal right to sell. No, you don't have a first sale doctrine. If you want to know more about that, click on that. It's a great video. But distributing things, selling software that you don't have the rights to, they would say you're infringing on the copyright holder's right to make copies and to distribute, and you have no right to do that. So they would call that infringement or piracy. 5, here's another one. We're seeing more and more of this these days, by the way. Number 5, over-installing software. So you hand the disk around the office. A couple of your architects or engineers install it, or somebody maybe you don't know. Maybe somebody comes in but anyway, over installing software. Say you have a license for one and you install it on 3 computers thinking, nobody's ever going to find out. Well, they will. And that's why we have jobs here as software defense lawyers. They do find out. And when they do find out, they treat it as piracy and they come at you hitting for hard penalties. Okay. So don't over install the software again. Follow your EULA, read your EULA, see what rights and entitlements you have. The EULA will spell that out for you, okay? That ties into number 6. What else is piracy? Exceeding the terms of the end user license agreement. If you do something that's not allowed by the EULA, yes, that can be brought as a contract issue, but I've also seen it referred to as a copyright infringement issue, okay? So do not exceed the terms. Number 6, there's some other goodies in there for you. Let's go down. We suspect many software companies. Let's go 7. Independent contractors. Here's another one. This pops up a lot, especially with Autodesk. Autodesk is really big on this. This maker of AutoCAD and Revit and Maya, Inventor, those kinds of things. Great company, great products. But if you're using independent contractors, they have told me that they expect you to audit them. And I have that in writing multiple cases. And I always tell them an independent contractor is an independent contractor. They're liable for their own tools, their own compliance, their own liability. Now, if you know you have an independent contractors coming in and doing things without a proper if you have knowledge of something, of course, you could be tied in, you have knowledge of infringing activity. But using independent contractors, I would just say, look, when I'm doing independent contractor agreements, the contractor needs to understand, there need to be compliant. If there's any issues, they would agree to indemnify you if you're held liable for something. So that could be very important, a very important clause, especially now that the line is getting blurred, really, with what independent contractors are, and states like California are trying to say, well, everybody's an employee. So it's really getting really tricky now. So this is becoming a little more of a ripe issue than maybe it has been in the past. 8, oversharing credentials or passwords. Here, you can go log in. Here's my password. You can go log in. Don't worry. Go home, log in. Nobody's going to know. Yeah, share it with your friends. Who cares? That kind of oversharing of credentials or passwords, that is stuff that's also able to be tracked. There was one company that I really admire, Netflix. They're one company that says, go ahead and share. We don't care. The more the merrier. Just let's get it out there. Let's have more people out there. Now, that may change one day. Who knows? They may change their stance. But, I like a company. They allow you to share. I think it's 5 accounts or something. But, that's pretty cool. It's pretty new age. It's pretty new way to look at things, and I like that. So oversharing that. 9, making more backup copies than you allow. So the EULA may say you can install on one computer and a backup at your house. And it may say you cannot use it simultaneously. If you do, that's an infringement. That's piracy. So over-installing, overusing, having too many backup copies, things like that can be deemed software piracy. Number 10, SPLA. These are the service providers for Microsoft. They resell tools and things, and they have to report their sales to Microsoft. They have to report it accurately. And if you don't, that can lead to an SPLA audit. And yes, we do handle SPLA audits, but that can be treated as a breach of an agreement and or infringement. and that can lead to big penalties, like big penalties, okay? These are not cases to take lightly with the SPLA, Microsoft, so getting a copyright counsel involved in that is extremely important to guide you through the process. 11, again, this is kind of the students using educational software. You see this a lot. Many people think, well, I don't want to buy the software, that's expensive. Why don't I just hire some local students to come in? They all have the software, and then they can use theirs for my business, and maybe even I can use it too. So that's a problem. A lot of cases we handle are in the area of educational software, or somebody is no longer educational and they're still using their educational license. So that's a big deal. Okay. Subscription licensing, using things past their term. Some people, it expires and they keep it on there and they keep using it. One may ask, well, why does the software company allow you to keep using it if it's expired? Well, those are some questions that we do have. 13, failing to maintain maintenance. This is one that's real important. Most people don't know about. And this arises in Autodesk audits. I'm not sure I've seen it anywhere else, but AutoCAD, Revit, those kinds of things. Some of the older versions, some of their perpetual licenses, if you didn't maintain the maintenance, you would lose your prior version rights. That means the right to use the 2017 AutoCAD or the 2016 AutoCAD. Some companies need to use those prior versions so they can review files and things like that. Well, if you don't maintain your maintenance, you can lose those prior version rights. And then when you assign those licenses through your panel, or other people are accessing it, now you're infringing because my clients really think they did nothing wrong. They go, "What the heck? I have no idea." And apparently it's buried in a EULA somewhere. You should have figured it out, I guess. But anyway, this is a real important one: losing your prior version rights and then continuing to assign that, okay, and use that. 14, selling counterfeit software, illegal knockoffs, things like that would violate the bundle of rights, what we call a bundle of rights. Copyright holders have a bundle of rights to reproduce, publicly perform, distribute, those kinds of things. And if you're making knockoffs, you're violating the counterfeit laws, number 1, probably trademarks 2, and copyrights 3. So counterfeits, never a good idea, can lead to very, very serious legal liability. And 15, the last one I put here, what is software piracy? Computer refurbishers, sometimes we'll see them just refurbishing a computer, installing software on it, and then selling it to their end user. Well, the end user goes, "Oh, I figured everything's fine because I'm just buying it from a refurbisher, and what's the problem there? I am paying money for it," but that can lead to problems as well. So these are my top 15 things that I think constitute software piracy. There are a lot of different angles on infringement. I've got some videos on here if you want to go to our website, vondrenlegal.com. If you need help with an audit, compliance issue, okay, these things can be costly. There can be officer and director liability. I've got some videos on here if you want to learn more about damages, if you want to learn more about a BSA software audit, things like that. But there it is. You've got our information there if you need help. But that is my overview of software piracy, really what it is. And so it's a lot of different types of thing. I just posted something on the first sale doctrine if you want to see that. But I hope that's been educational for you. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to share it on your social media networks. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this video. We're getting close to 30,000. Been pushing hard for that. A lot of great information. If there's anything else you want to see, go ahead and just leave a comment, post on it. But that is a little primer. Attorney Steve style, software piracy, stuff they don't teach you in school. Okay, have a great day. I got to run. Take care. We'll be back. Bye now.